Hi, I'm Andy from Roland. We've come down here today to DJKIT and we're going to have a quick look at the new Roland TR-8S. So those of you who might have the TR-8, there's quite a few things that are different about it, and we're just going to run through some of the changes today. So the big thing straight away on the TR-8, when you pressed pattern select, you had a choice of 16 patterns. On the TR-8S, we've massively increased the memory on it. So if you hold down pattern select, you have a choice of 8 banks. So you have 8 times 16, so 128 pattern slots, which is really cool. In each of the patterns as well, you have 8 different variations. So on the TR-8, you had a choice of an A and a B variation. Now we've got variations A through H, which is really cool, and an auto fill-in function. So here's a bit of an example of that. This is one of the preset patterns. So this is running through a pattern variation A and B, so that's a 32-step pattern that's running together, but then you can also switch between different sections of a song within this. So here's an example. So I'll just switch between different sections of the patterns to kind of illustrate how you can use this in a song setup. So that's really cool. You can actually, if you wanted to, you could chain all 8 variations together to have a 128 step note pattern as well, which is really sweet. So another cool thing that we've added on this one is a auto fill-in. So which was something that you got on the original TR-808, which every few bars it would automatically play in a fill that you would program. So on this one, this is a feature that's come to the TR-8S. So you have every 2, 4, 8, 12, 16 or 32 bars, it can automatically play a fill, or you can manually trigger it as well. So here's an example. So if I set it on every 2 bars, if I hold down auto fill, you can choose your fills on here. So you have a choice of 2. You do have to write the fills yourself, by the way. Or you could have a scatter function. So if we choose fill number 1 and play the pattern. So every second bar there, it's playing the fill. So if I set it to be every 4, we count along. So these are cool things because you can write them in and you can swap them out in the middle of a live performance. They're really good, just creative tools that you can bring in together, which is ace. So let's make a new pattern on here. So I'm going to go to bank number 8, choose a blank one, press start, nothing happens. So we're going to select a different kit. So out of the box on this one, you get the TR-808, 909, 707, 727 and 606 drum kits, which are all modelled, so they use the analog circuit behaviour modelling that was used in the TR-8, but this is version 2, so it does noticeably sound better, and you get a lot more choice in terms of variation of sounds and things. We also have loads of great preset kits that are built into it. So you have great sample kits that are loaded in. Obviously you can load in your own samples, you can make your own drum kits, customise them however you like. So we're going to go to the 808 kit, and to enter in a pattern, it's the same way that you would do on the TR-8. Press bass drum, and then just choose the instrument that you want and put in the pattern where you like. So I'll just fill in some stuff. Another thing that we've added is a performance pad. So if you want to play in any of your hits, you can do as well. So while that's playing, I can record in some carousels. These are velocity sensitive as well, which is cool. So you can add in sort of velocity variation to your pattern. Other things that we've added, we've made it a lot easier to do sub-steps, so like 30-second notes. So for instance, if you were writing a trap pattern and you had some trap hi-hats, you wanted a quick 30 seconds at the end, a lot easier to do. So you just press sub. And you can change that to be 30 seconds or third notes or quarter notes. You can actually do that per step as well if you wanted to, which is quite cool. So if you wanted one that's a third note and the last one to be a quarter note, just take that one off. Which is pretty cool, nice ways of doing things. We've also added last step per instrument. So on the TR-8, if you wanted to shorten your pattern down from 16 to sort of 8 hits or 7 or whatever you want, you could do that. But on the TR-8S, you can also do that per instrument. So, for instance, on our hi-hats here, if I wanted just a pattern that's going in 3s, so hold last step whilst selecting closed hi-hat and choose 3. And now when we play, so you can use this to make polyrhythms, so a bit of an extreme example, but if we do the bass drum, let's make that do 5s. So you can make some quite interesting things, which is cool. So that's back. So other big thing that you can do on this one is that you can record automation into the patterns, which is brilliant. So this was a much user requested feature from the TR-8. So now any of the controls that are on the front there, apart from the faders, we can record in as automation within the pattern. So I'm just going to write a new pattern for this one, and I'm going to use the 909 kit. Just go for a floor. So if I wanted to control the decay of the closed hi-hat like this, I can record that into the pattern, and it's really easy to do. So we have a motion setting on the left hand side, so all I need to do is hit record, play the pattern, and then make sure motion is on. That's recorded in there, which is great. But we can also do some really creative things with it. So in the preset kit that we were using earlier on, it sounded like there was a bass line going on in there. And actually what that's doing is taking a static sample that's loaded in and then coarse tuning it within a pattern. So I'll show you how to do that. This is really cool. It allows you to make sort of bass lines. So I'm going to put in some hits, and then instead of a low tom, we're going to select a sample for this. So selected low tom, press the sample button. Now we have a choice of all of these of our preset samples, and I want to go through until I find a synth sound. So I'm going to use this sustained 808 bass. So let's hear that. With all of the samples, the decay knob works as well, and the master tune. So what we're going to do is we're going to coarse tune this over some steps. So each of the instruments, you notice, has a control dial, which can be assigned to do lots of different things. So I'm going to assign this to do coarse tuning. So I'll hold down Control Select and tweak the dial to find the mode. So these are all the options that I could assign it to do. So let's assign it to coarse tuning. There we go. And to put in the automation is really easy. I could do it in real time while holding record, but that could be a bit fiddly. So you hold down the note that you want to do, tweak the dial to find the value. So I set this at 0, which is our home key. And once there's some automation stored in it, you can see that the note goes yellow. So let's go up to the top. Just give a quick pattern. Cool. So now when I play this, this is cool. So it's pitching the bass sound in real time. So we can use this in the melody. So and then lastly, I suppose we have some great master effects as well. So while the pattern's running, we can run it through some good effects. So we have great filters that it can run through, where we have loads of choices of effects. So another cool one is we have some different types of drives. This is quite an extreme one. This is fuzz. We have some bit crush. But there's loads of really great little features that are in there. We haven't really got time to go through all of them, but the best thing to do is to check out the TR-8S for yourself and see how it can revolutionise your live music setup. Thanks for watching.